Hi everyone and good evening. So today we want to discuss about the elementary statistic assessment. It's about the article name is the lockdown important to prevent the COVID-19 pandemic. So we group 7 we will discuss. So before that I want to introduce group 7 members. First Siti Aisha, second Dania Kamilia, third Chong Zinying. Next is Nurul Najwani Fatia and the last is me Hanif Faisal. So we will start the discussion. First, the member first Dania Kamila will explain about the introduction. Thanks.
Alright, so thank you, Anif. So I will start with introduction. Okay, worldwide lockdown, quarantine, and some restrictions have been imposed due to COVID-19's daily rising cases and fatalities. The purpose of this study is to examine how lockdown days affect the global spread of the coronavirus. This study offers initial evidence that the COVID-19 pandemic can be suppressed by a lockdown. The application of lockdown by government is also thought to be effective on psychology, environment, and economy besides having impact on COVID-19. The result revealed that daily cases reduced after the lockdown, indicating that the efforts taken to contain the sickness have been effective thus far. Next, I will define the problem. So in this article is about the lockdown importance of lockdowns in preventing the COVID-19 pandemic. It shows that there are many ways and effect during the lockdown, and those methods are usable during the lockdown to reduce the number of COVID-19 cases. The COVID-19 outbreak, which is now turning into a pandemic, is a global health crisis. However, the measures taken by countries against this epidemic bring along an unprecedented economic disaster. So next, I'll pass to Aisha.
So I will explain about the define the aim. The aim of this study is to analyze statistically that the lockdown plays an important in preventing COVID-19 and to show its psychological effect on people. This study used COVID-19 data from 49 countries to analyze the impact of the lockdown to slow down the COVID-19 outbreak. Countries that do not consistently enforce the lockdown are not included in this study. The correlation tests were used for data analyzed based on unconstrained, normal, and constrained to 3 lambda. COVID-19's daily increasing cases and deaths have led to worldwide lockdown, quarantine, and some restrictions such as no travel across the country. In addition, other parameters such as a demographic of population, density of populations, and the parameter of weather, economy, infrastructure of healthcare system may be considered in the studies, considering that it may effective on COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, the application of lockdown by government is also thought to be effective on psychology, environment, and economy, with it being effective on COVID-19. So next, I will pass to Hanif.
Okay, thanks Aisha. So next, I want to explain about descriptive and inferential. So first, descriptive statistic is a method for collecting, organizing, analyzing, and summarizing the data. So example of descriptive is all US kindergarten teachers, 32%, say that knowing the alphabet is an essential skill. So for inferential is methods that use result obtained from sample to desire conclusion about the population. For example, for of inferential is 3,500 students in Malaysia, secondary school, 10% of them getting 11 A's in the SPM examination. So next, for the population and sample for the article. So um, definition of a population is a collection of all individuals about which information is desired, and the population have two types, which is finite and infinite. So the population in the article, which is the lockdown to prevent the COVID-19 pandemic, is all the country in the world that announced lockdown in their country. For example, Sample is a subset of the population. The sample in the article is a group or some of the country have been locked down due to COVID-19. So that's all for me. Next, I will pass to Zinyin.
Thank you, Hanif. I will explain about my part, which is variable and scale. So the first one is the quantitative variable. In the quantitative variable, it has two types, which is discrete and continuous. This article is only have discrete variable, don't have the continuous quantitative variable. And in the quantitative variable, it has two scale, which is ratio scale and interval scale. So the first one of discrete variable is number of confirmed active COVID-19 cases worldwide as of May 5, 2020, which is 3,726,796 million, which is the ratio scale. And the number of approved active COVID-19 cases in country considered as of May 5, 2020, which is 1440776, which is also the ratio scale. The lockdown stays of 49 countries that implemented the lockdown between certain dates. And the next one is the percentage of stress, 8%, and the depression of 16% to 28% as psychological reaction during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's also a racial scale. Increase in water quality of Mumbai led by approximately 15.6% in India with the remote sensing imaging method. It is a racial scale. Increase of air quality in Almaty, Kazakhstan due to the 27-day lockdown. And the last one is the CO emission level is approximately 30.3% to 48.5% due to the lockdown in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's also a ratio scale. Since this article do not have the interval scale, so the suggestion of interval scale of COVID-19 is if an individual's body temperature exceeds 37.2, they have a fever and should probably use a test kit to determine if they test positive or negative of the virus. So the next one is the qualitative variable. In the qualitative variable, it has two scales, which is ordinal scale and nominal scale. So the first one is the location of the disease outbreak, Wuhan City, Hubei province, China. It is ordinal scale. And the next one is the name of the virus, coronavirus 2019 or COVID-19. It is a nominal scale. The next one is the source of the virus, Huanan Seafood Market in Wuhan, China. It is an ordinal scale. Transmission pathway of the virus, which is the respiratory droplet scattering. The next one is the hygiene rules, washing hand, and the next one is an overview of the psychological, environmental, and economic impact of the lockdown imposed in country due to COVID-19. It is a nominal scale. The impact of the lockdown on the environment, economy, and psychology of people. This is the nominal scale. The next one is psychological effect of lockdown due to COVID-19, the environment effect of lockdown due to COVID-19, and the economic effect of lockdown due to COVID-19. The last one is the conflicting statement regarding lockdown by a country on COVID-19. So that's all for my part, and I will pass it to Nashwani.
Okay, thank you, Ying, for your explanation, and thank you to moderator. And I want to share about the type of data in the article. Okay, firstly is primary data. Primary data is the original data derived from research endeavor or refer to the first-hand data gathered by the researchers himself, such as interview, survey, and experiment. Second is secondary data. Secondary data is that has already been collected through primary sources and made readily available for researchers to use for their own research. It is a type of data that has already been collected in the past, such as journals, blogs, and newspapers. And this is sources of secondary data based on the article. Firstly is website. The information shared on website is mostly not regulated and as such may not be trusted compared to other sources. However, there are some regulated websites that only share authentic data and can be trusted by researchers. But most of these websites are usually government website or private organization website. For example, we have our work data. And second is government record. Government record are a very important and authentic sources of secondary data. They contain information useful in marketing, management, community, and sources science research. Some of these records include census data, COVID-19 cases, and the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. And third is journal. Journal are gradually becoming more important than books this day when the data collection is concerned. This is because journals are updated regularly with new publication on a periodic basis, therefore giving to the information. Then journals are usually more specific when it comes to research. And last is books. Books are one of the most traditional way of collecting data. When carrying out research, all we have to do is look for a book on the topic being researched, then select from the available repository of books in that area. And books carefully chooses authentic sources of authentic data and can be useful in preparing a literary review. And this is step for analysis secondary data and how to know analysis secondary data. Firstly is we have to statement of purpose. Before collecting secondary data for analysis, you need to know your statement of purpose. There is a clear understanding of why you are collecting the data, the ultimate aim of the research work, and how this data will help achieve it. And second is research design, which is writing down plan of how the research activity will be carried out. It describes the kind of data to be collected, the sources of data collection, method of the data collection, the tool, and even the method of analysis. And next is developing the research question. Actually, it is not enough to just know the research purpose. You need to develop a research question that will help in better identify the secondary data. It's because there are usually a pool of data to choose from, and asking the right question will assist in collection authentic data. And it is identify secondary data. After develop the research question, we have to use them as a guide to identify relevant data from the data repository. For example, if the kind of data to be collected is qualitative, we have to can filter out qualitative data. And last is evaluating secondary data. This stage is what many classify as the real data analysis stage because it is the point where analysis is actually performed. However, this stage highlighted above a part of the data analysis process because they influence how the analysis is performance. And next is we share about advantage and disadvantage of secondary data. Advantage, we have easy of access. Second is inexpensive. And last is time saving. For disadvantage of secondary data, we have data quality. And second is irrelevant data. And last but not least is outdated information. That's all for me. I will pass to moderator.
So thank you, Nazwani, for the explanation about the final part. So that's all for us in this discussion. Thank you for sharing. Good information. So thank you. That's all for us.